Right, David, I'm really excited about this one. It's something you've actually been playing with, I'm going to say, for about 5 years, this particular concept. I've had prototypes of this, and in fact, we've done films on prototypes of this for years. I remember we did some very fine fluoro orange stuff at one point. David.
Oh, right, I know what you're referring to.
Everybody loved. But the name that Catherine, who's our creative genius, that she's come up with for this stuff is Strike Mix, because it's an additive that you can put into near enough anything to brighten up the bait and add fish accelerant and attractant to it. So tell me a bit more about the journey, how we've arrived at this.
I think we're all familiar with pastoccino, is that what it's called? And it's been a staple. I don't think it's particularly big, but it's been a staple in matchmen's diet, if you like, to have these bright pieces of colour, which are mixed with ground bait. I think it's particular to bream fishing.
Yeah, I
Probably
think
on natural waters.
natural venues, bream and roach fishing in Ireland, it's massively popular, pastoccino. Any sort of natural venue scenario where you believe that flecks of colour in ground bait brings more fish in. And the other thing with pastoccino, and Van den Eyne did a similar additive years ago, we all used to call hundreds and thousands, and we put that in everything. It was very salty, so it did add a bit of something, a bit of salt, I think, to the mix. But it didn't do a fat lot else. It didn't have a lot of other flavours in it. And what I said to you, the problem with it, I sometimes found was that it sort of break down into the ground bait. If you were using quite a damp mix, it'd almost start to break down a bit.
And we know from carp fishing that brightly coloured things, hook baits in particular, attract fish. I mean, it really does work, and on a particular day it could be a particular colour. So we know that they are the visual creatures that are seeking out things that stand out from the rest. Hopefully it's your hook bait. Pastoccino, I have trouble with words, when I've played around with different ones, they tend to lose their colour and break down and go a bit mushy, and so they're losing that pinpoint of colour that attracts the fish after a while. So I thought, well, I'll make something that actually stays solid, stays a pinpoint of colour in the ground bait and on the lake bed, and also gives off loads of attractants. So of course it's got fish accelerant and sunset in. It's a vehicle for introducing that into your ground bait as well. Now, I just want to point out here, this is a pre-prototype thing. So on the Fuka Anglers Facebook, we do this prototype thing where we want the feedback from the viewers, and we send them free samples, and they tell us what's going on. The thing is that the factory can't keep up with me. I have so many ideas that they can't all be done. So what I need is you guys to help me pre-select the ones that we're going to go forward with, put the effort in to actually get to the prototype stage. So that's what we're talking about now. I want to know whether this is worthwhile doing. I mean, it might be too niche for all I know, or it might be a big thing. It might be what you don't want or do want, but whatever it is, get back on Fuka Anglers and give us your comments, because it's extremely valuable, and then we'll be able to make a mind up what we're going to go forward with.
I think it's worth saying as well, just because I've obviously mentioned the application of that, of adding it to ground bait on naturals, etc., which is where I first saw this sort of product. Don't be shy of trying it on other things as well. Like one thing we both said last week at the Glebe when we were playing with this stuff is, wouldn't it be great to add it to, say, a method feeder micro mix, didn't we, to add some flex of colour to that? So there's lots you can do with it, almost endless, and we've certainly found on the Fuka journey before, David, haven't we, that we don't always, or people don't always use our baits the way that we might, or the way that we think. So, please let us know on there as well how you use the bait, if you've done anything different with it. And it's the Fuka Anglers Facebook group where you can leave all that feedback.
Yeah. So what my esteemed match angling friend here has done is he's mixed his favourite winter dark ground bait mix up.
It's just 50-50. It's the Dynamite Bates black swim stim, amino black, and Sonia Bates, your old invention.
Yeah.
Sonia Bates F1 original, so that's a sweet sort of ground bait. And it goes together and makes this nice dark sort of mix that you can see there. You can see we have put a smattering of hundreds and thousands, or strike mixes we're calling it, in here already. Should we put a few more in?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I think what I'll do is I'll pick up this my camera phone here and just video it a bit closer so we can actually maybe, if you're technically capable, put up a little thing here.
I can try. So a few yellow, a few red. Really a bit tight there. Let's put a few more in. A few more yellow.
We can have all different colours. We can have green.
I'm going to say you did some green, didn't you, as well, different prototypes. And then I'm going to mix it in white as well as a nice colour, I always think.
But what Tommy Pickering's found when he's fishing for bream in Ireland is that when he's unhooking one of the fish he's caught, they'll be regurgitating a particular colour, and they've gone to the length of picking out a certain colour on the day, which I just find fascinating.
And he said, I think I'm right in saying, when we talked about this with Tommy, he sort of said that then informed the colour of hook bait that he used.
Yeah.
Because obviously if you know they're eating red,
yeah,
all the better, innit? Shall we see what it's like in water?
Yeah.
You can definitely see, can't you? I mean, that's unmistakable in red flecks. Now, one thing I've said before, David, about the red sensate fish accelerant powder that I love is I think that has tiny red flecks to your mix. So to me, I'm really interested in maybe using that alongside.
Yeah, it's more of a thing, isn't it? You know, these, when this is settled, you'll still see that they've got those red flecks, the pinpoints of colour they are, and that's what I wanted to achieve. It seems to be doing it. So we'll have a look at that a bit later. That ground bait you make is quite an inert one, isn't it? It just goes down and stays there inert.
Yeah, it's mixed well in advance, over-wetted. The idea being exactly as you say, it goes to the bottom, stays on the bottom, and then obviously I always imagine your skimmers probably sit above it. I don't believe for a second they're down there eating it all. I think they're probably sat above it this time of year.
Yeah.
But it is things like flecks of colour that make them go down and eat it. One of the best hook baits I've found this time of year for a silverfish is double pinky.
Yeah.
It's the same idea, isn't it? It's a bright visual sort of thing falling through.
On a waggler or a pole.
Pole.
And sinking slowly. Sort of
strung out rig.
Yeah, it all makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So just tell me a bit more about it. I know obviously you're not going to want to give away too much, but the one thing I instantly liked about these was they are not pellet based, are they?
No, they're not. I'm not going to tell you what they are.
No.
But they are absolutely saturated with sensate. And well, if you can't smell it. What do they smell like?
Yeah, very very strongly of sensate. Yeah. And the beauty is with the reason that I was asking about pellets is we don't want, or don't always want, pellets in our ground bait, especially this time of year.
Feeding them.
Yeah, you're putting feed in. Yeah. If you want them in, you can add them in, obviously. But
well, you can get that's a lot of specks of colour in there, but there's no way is that going to feed them up.
No. You've got the colour, you've got the sensate fish accelerant as well, the element attraction. What colours is it possible to make these in? So one thing I would like to ask the food anglers to comment on is what colours would they like to see in these? But is there any limitations that you couldn't do?
Well, at this stage, I'd have difficulty making a black that stayed black, but there might be ways around that. So you'd be able to do white, red, green. What other colours would you want?
For me, it'd be white, red, green, yellow, maybe a fluoro pink. Are you a fluoro pink?
Might be able to, yeah. Yeah, might be able to.
Brilliant. Well, that's given a bit of an insight into the strike mix, what it may or may not end up being as it goes through. Really interested to see how you guys get on with it. Should we have a little look once more, David, just in that ground bait, and just see? So you can definitely pick out them flecks, can't you? You can imagine without that in there, it'd be much more.
Well, it would be that really dull colour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the colour without the flecks won't be attracting them. It'll just not be scaring them. So it's a question of whether these specks of colour actually pull the fish in. They've certainly got all the attractants on them as well, which is different sense, smell, taste, water. I don't know. What do you think? Is this a runner? Is this something you would use, or is this something you wouldn't use? Either way, tell us, because if we get 100 people saying no, it's just not really my cup of tea, I wouldn't bother with that, and one person saying it's great, then I don't think I would bother going into the prototype stage. But if it was like 50-50 or the other way around, 100 people saying, oh yeah, I think it's absolutely great and I really would like to see that, then we can take it to the next stage.
I suppose one final question, and I know you won't be able to give me a specific answer to this yet, because there's a lot goes into how you make things and how you cost things, but say for example we did bring these out and you wanted to, say, add some to some ground bait for a day's fishing, how much is it going to cost? It's not going to cost you like 10 quid to add this to your ground bait or anything.
No, because you don't need much. I mean, you put loads in there, didn't you? You don't need much. I haven't worked out prices, but it'll be comparable to the pasticino things and the bait tech stuff and everyone else's. But I think it'll work a lot more effectively. It doesn't float up either. Some of them float up after.
They do, they do.
So I just want them to just stay there as pinpoints of colour. I mean, the other thing is, and this is another question for you guys, we could put these in our squeeze ready ground bait, so it's there, you open the bag, there's your ground bait, and there's the colour, the stripe mix in them. I mean, is that a runner, or do you always want to get it separate?
So lots for you guys to go away and think about. Lots of homework, I'm going to say, from David, isn't there?
Yeah.
But please get involved. Drop a comment either here on this video or over on the Fuka Anglers Facebook group, and that will inform what David does next.
Yeah, and that's where we give away the free samples if it goes to the prototype stage. Thank you very much.